All right, here we go. It is New Year's Eve, and of course, anybody watching the VODs after the fact, Happy New Year. Hopefully, the end of 2025 was nothing but positivity here for you. And going to 2026, of course, I wish everybody a fantastic start to 2026. Welcome to the stream, of course. My name's Silent. For the longest time, I think I'll get into it a little bit as we do our year in review, but I was a esports broadcaster for the collegiate esports side of things. Commentator for over 10 years and counting, and now found myself here doing a bunch of content for Illuvium, because that's just what I'm having a lot of fun doing, all things considered. So that is basically that. Game plan here for today. I'm going to be going over kind of my year of review of sorts. Of course, since I started, majority of my time, like I was saying before, was with Illuvium content. Where did that exactly get me as a content creator? Considering I basically started fresh, and with Illuvium specifically being my focus, and Illuvium still being very, very new, and like still very, very small and up and coming, what does that look like for somebody who's been kind of hard focusing it in regards to content? So, giving my insights on that as we do a overworld run as well, then hop into ranked after the fact, and of course, our usual Illuvium 0 cooldown after the fact. I did scuff things up a little bit when I started the stream. I did not set my software properly, dropping the ball a little bit there, so if you got double pinged, I do apologize. But just double check to make sure everything's going properly now. I think we're good, we're up and running. Yeah, so I'm gonna basically just kind of get started here with my year in review. Of course, regardless of which platform you happen to be on, I have the chats open for all of the platforms. So if there is any questions or comments you want to make, or any sort of discussion, by all means, as long as it's appropriate, I'll gladly answer and give my insights on that. Let's quickly kill that off there. Some stuff sucking some of my computer's power. There we go. Okay. All right, so year in review. So of course, while my channel here is pretty much new, like I kind of touched on earlier, I had still been doing some sort of content creation for the longest time. Since StarCraft 2 came out, that is when I started originally trying to become a player, but then after getting destroyed at an MLG Orlando, my focus kind of turned more so towards the casting and entertainment side of it. And from there, it kind of stemmed down to casting basically every game that I possibly could. And especially once I got into the college esports scene, there's like, without question, I could probably, at my peak, I could have commentated like 13 different esports at a pretty decent level. Just because of the college esports team that I was working with, they had a lot of different teams and different games, so I had to at least be somewhat knowledgeable in all of them and tried my best to bring the energy for that. But of course, eventually, like, I was very, very thankful to have that job with the college esports thing. Lasted about 7 years or so, but eventually wore out its welcome. For one reason or another, just you can tell things weren't starting to work out very well. And I still respect the hell out of everybody that works there and whatnot, so I'm not here to bash them or anything like that. I'm still rooting for them, and I still want to see things grow for them. But it was obvious that their path forward did not involve me, so I kind of expedited that process, to say the least. But with that, it did kind of knock the confidence out of me. And during that entire time where I was working, like, with casting and whatnot, I barely ever made my own thing. I was always working with somebody or working for a company to make content. So I never really truly focused on myself. It was always the players, it was always the company, or always the event, so to speak. And I never really promoted myself at all. And part of it was my fault. I wouldn't go to like these extra conventions to network or anything like that. Like, I am an extreme introvert when it comes away from the camera. So going to things like conventions and whatnot does make me nervous a little bit. But I was willing to do it, but of course had a couple of personal issues with my living conditions kind of make that very, very difficult, or I would be putting people in danger if I did it. So I didn't end up taking a lot of these opportunities. So once the esports gig, the college esports gig kind of fell apart, my confidence was honestly shot. And it took me a long time. If February was when I eventually left the college esports gig, it would have been like I was probably grieving that until at least June. And then I started kind of giving myself a bit of a kick here that, okay, I still want to do this. I need to start building something on my own. Granted, I have all of this experience, but nobody knows who I am. And that's okay. Well, we made our own thing. And starting on July 4th, or the 4th of July, I started, but I didn't actually start here on camera. In fact, I kind of started as a VTuber instead. I was, let's see if I have him here nearby. I was this guy. I would be on screen as my VTuber model. And this would kind of get me back into my groove, so to speak. I started trying to do commentary. I started to do, like, gaming streams. I started to do college esports stuff under the VTuber model instead, just to kind of get used to the process of getting back into the swing of things. And it definitely got there, but eventually some things change. Like, if I hop on over here, well, I guess it kind of makes a little bit more sense once I start getting into my YouTube dashboard, which I will show off here in just a moment's time. There's nothing confidential to worry about here, so yeah, because I started off with a lot of live streams, but the first couple things that I did make in terms of long-form content was that college esports stuff. And as somebody who did actually go to college, not just as the college esports broadcaster, but the reason I got that job in the first place was because I actually took the college esports and administration entrepreneurship program that college specifically had made. It was brand new, and I went and took it. And the first video I made was basically just saying if it was worth it to actually do. Where you can tell that I was still grieving a little bit over the job experience, because I was rather harsh. But a lot of it still does stand true to this day, where if a college or a university is offering esports as a course, I still definitely recommend that people try to find the niche within the college esports or within esports that they want to do, and then try to take the program associated with that piece. So say for me, for example, if I was the esports broadcaster, I shouldn't have taken the esports program. I should have probably taken multimedia and marketing, something along those lines, or broadcasting and entertainment techniques, or something along those lines. Because while the esports course is a great entry point to somebody who just likes esports for the sake of esports but doesn't know where to take it, for anybody who's really past that, what usually would then end up happening is you would take that esports course, but then they would probably try to get you to take something else after that, which is probably the thing you should have probably taken in the first place. CFGD, Happy New Year to you as well. Hope you're having a fantastic day, and may 2026 bring you the best of luck and best of fortune, my friend. And the next video that I did end up making was in regards to college esports again, but this was in regards to not every esport being treated equally, and not actually coinciding with what the pro scene looks like. So, as someone who was working with college esports teams and was in the management meetings, I seen how, for example, like, say, Counter-Strike. Counter-Strike, easily one of the top 5, if not top 3, esports in the entire world. However, in the college esports scene, it is basically non-existent because schools don't like being labeled as terrorists or counter-terrorists. Like, they don't like it's something so simple and so stupid, but that is something that gets into mind. So anybody who's in college trying to get a scholarship for competing in Counter-Strike, the opportunities are hard to find, and they aren't usually very good ones if you do find it. Granted, of course, I've been out of the scene for about a year now, or close to a year now. So things could absolutely change, and that's why I kind of set the video to private now, because I'm not sure exactly how relevant it still stands to this day. But I had started off by giving my insights there. I had made a bunch of shorts out of those videos as well, and they did quite well. A couple of them hitting the tens of thousands of views and multiple comments, but a lot of it was hate pieces, basically. And it was like, this guy doesn't know what he was talking about, especially since I was using my VTuber model at the time. Just people wouldn't take me seriously at all. And it was definitely frustrating. But then you can see shortly after that, that's when I kind of started getting into Illuvium in terms of the casting side of things. I had played it for a long time. Of course, I've been around since the very first land sale. However, I was not under the name Silent. I was under the same name that I used to use for my work, which was, back in the day, was Mr. Danners. That was my tag when I was in college esports. Or Danners or something along those lines. And then I started doing these casts, and I was just having a lot of fun doing it. And shortly after that, I think we see it here, just a little bit up. But that's when the Leviathan tournaments happened. The No Limits Leviathan tournament, I think it was one of the first ones that Illuvium had done. And I was just going to cast this thing no matter what. I just turned on my own stream. Excuse me, anxiety killing me. Whew, sorry. Yeah, the No Limits tournament came around. I was going to stream this thing on my own personal channel no matter what. And I had posted that I was streaming it, but like, I wasn't reaching out to Illuvium to be a caster or anything along those lines. I was just kind of doing it for fun. Man, don't know why it's killing me here today. Sorry about that. But with the No Limits tournament, Illuvium, I believe, was originally planning on doing their own stream, but it was also being held or being done by the same people that were being the tournament organizers, and that is extremely difficult to do. Tournament organizing while also streaming. A lot of people think they can do it, then it actually happens and they realize how much of an incredible handful it is to try and do. I've done it a couple of times, and on both systems, both the stream and the tournament suffered because of it. So Illuvium making the right call to focus on the tournament. They had dumped the stream, and then all of a sudden, wait, somebody's actually streaming it. Wait a minute, they're casting this like an esports guy? And that's kind of how I got onto the radar with Illuvium, was from that Leviathan tournament. And shortly after that No Limits tournament, that's when the announcement about the Illuvium Pro League came out. And definitely got excited, but of course with the tournament announcement, it didn't mean that I was guaranteed anything by any means, nor did I expect any expectations. So the first stream for the IPL came and went, and it was good, don't get me wrong. But then getting the message after that was absolutely incredible. Paz or Illumination had picked up the stream production, I believe maybe even the tournament organizing roles. I'm not sure to exactly what extent, but they kind of picked that up as well, got me involved. You would think after so many years that the stage fright goes away. It doesn't. This was another reason why I used my VTuber model off the rip, oddly enough, is because of how much I choke up when getting anxious. And I don't know why this is making me anxious. Just kind of reflecting on the path so far. Yeah, getting involved from the second Illuvium Pro League stream all the way to the end was an absolute blast. We had an incredible time. And man, it really kind of set me on my path here. I was able to focus on it pretty well. And it was a lot of fun. Sorry about that. I'll be right there. That was a first, my goodness. Never been backed up. Never been backed up that badly before. My apologies, but holy smokes. I have never been that anxious to the point where I'm feeling like that. My gosh, but I just care about this a lot, right? Okay. Let's refocus here because it seems like we got a little bit of fun coming up around the corner here. So, Sota just showing up here. There's a lobby with Kieran coming up here for just a moment. Do I want to cast? What if I didn't just want to cast? What if I wanted to compete in it? Let me see if maybe they might kick me out here. We'll see, but well, I would love to get involved with that. Okay. But to kind of just wrap up the year in review, because yeah, this is a little bit unfortunate. Sorry about that. But I continued to make the Illuvium long form content for Lexel a bit, mainly relying on the Daydream or the Dreamers Esports tournaments to push me along. I made some fun videos along the way, like the Illuvial tier list. And this was before like I was really into the competitive side of Illuvium too, so I wasn't necessarily talking out of my ass, but I don't have the context that I do now, for example. Trying to see what's happening. Sorry. Last minute things here. Yes. I got the okay to join? Alright. And then, yeah, I'll actually do that. Here's what I'll do then. I'll join the lobby, and I'll stream my point of view, I'll cast with my point of view. When I inevitably get knocked out, because I imagine if yous are actually putting prizing on the line, that all y'all killers are going to end up getting in there. So if that's the case, I'll eventually get eliminated, I'll cast after I'm dead. Something like that. And from there on, the Battle Pass came out, the MMO Boss Leagues. I tried my best to kind of give a little bit of an entry point to people for the overworlds. But then it was just a lot of casting with IPL-related content, my top 5 teams, for example. A lot of people seem to like that. The one big standout, though, is a lot of people really seem to like the A Fire Inside, the Illuvium tale, where it was basically a fan fiction of an Illuvium match, but like personalizing the Illuvios a little bit more. And this was even before, like, it wasn't even a Leviathan game, it was just a ranked game. But a lot of people really enjoyed the way that I did this one. And while it may not necessarily be my highest viewed video, it is easily the one I've received the most comments about being the most interesting, most fun, and most entertaining. So it is something I do want to continue to do. It just took a long time to actually edit that video. And finding the right game for it is sometimes a bit of a hard time as well. If you have more points than Kieran, you win one of his top 100 Illuvatars. Okay, so I don't have to win, I just have to beat Kieran in this instance, yeah? Now here's the thing, I'm showing that I'm gonna cast it live on YouTube, so in theory I should open the door for another player. Or something along those lines. Just quickly throwing off the question. Else to play for Kieran's telling me I hear he's good now. Oh dear. Well, here's the thing. I've put in time, but there are so many people that are gonna probably destroy me in terms of levels. I had just made the point in the last stream that I wanted to be hurt. I wanted the top level people to come at me. Well, this is, I guess, as good as it gets. I'm just curious. I know Kieran is Pork Lamb, but there's Pork Lamb 2 and Pork Lamb 2. There's 2 Pork Lamb 2s. Interesting. Here, let's hop over to the gameplay. And one is Fox Spirit. Okay. Oh god. Okay. And then Bond Daddy Ratty, that's a top player currently on the leaderboard, if I do recall correctly. So yeah, we inadvertently have a little bit of a show match here. I was not expecting this, but a little bit of a best of 3. Some of the top players in Illuvium as well, and probably a top player themselves. I'm not going to discredit them, but we got Kieran in here as well, so this is going to be pretty exciting. Very, very exciting. But with the, just kind of, not sure when the game's going to start, so I'll just keep it here for now. But since the 4th of July, and then especially since August, when hard focusing onto Illuvium, well, all of my other experience, like I was saying before, was more so towards other companies or other individuals. Like, I never felt supported. I never felt, like, welcomed. I never felt like I kind of belonged. Meanwhile, with Illuvium, they've essentially, it feels like this entire community has essentially welcomed me in with open arms, even though I understand I'm not their target audience. I'm not the crypto guy, so to speak. Like, or at least I wasn't their original target audience. Like, again, the only reason I know what crypto is because I wanted to play the game. To play this game. Okay, so looks like it's just going to be the 7 of us plus 1 bot. So I don't feel bad about taking a spot here. I don't even know what necessarily sprung this into the swing of things. Yeah, we have a little bit of a show match here. I should probably change the titles. And yeah, I inadvertently am playing in like a tournament-esque kind of setting. This is cool, but I'm scared. Okay. We'll get that all switched up. Gather the squad. And it is time to get smoked. So again, the game plan here. I am going to play as long as I possibly can. I'm going to scrape and claw to try and get every position that I can. But when I inevitably do get knocked out, I will cast the rest from there. Okay, so we got a bunch of magic. I do get the emergency button, which is kind of nice. Oh, and a blessing. I get to go up against the bot first. I'll gladly accept. Oh. Oh, it's not Leviathan. Oh, no. It was in a Leviathan lobby, though, was it not? Oh, we might have a remake here in a second, then. No, good eye. I never would have noticed until Soda said something, but... yeah, this isn't actually Leviathan. Interesting. Waiting on the Discord to see what their call is going to be. Okay, I've got a lot of weapons that I do like. Let's take a look and see what everybody's running here. Of course, it wouldn't be Kieran if he wasn't going for Mud, so fair enough. Emberling Rod is probably going to be the choice. Now I just gotta figure out where to go from here. No, if I am doing Emberling Rod, I probably want that to be yellow. A little bit of a rough move not having my Ranger bonded to anything, but we'll make do. And this is going to be the one time where I'm actually somewhat on an even playing field here with Sota. But again, I don't mind taking the early hits. I'm not going to level. Just take it from there. Omnivamp we will do. Something along these lines. Get the fighter out of here. Let's get something along these. A water rogue for the Lynx. It looks like we're just going to play it out right now. So, game number 1 we'll play it out, and it looks like we'll go Leviathan next time by. One of the members actually left, so there is always still the potential of remake. But we shall see. Part of me is happy it's not just me being a little bit of getting the bug, so to speak. Okay. Take the one little links. And let's see, I don't need gorillas. Links can go here. Let's actually load our guy up here. Okay, so Rich just discovered that you can't actually make a custom game with Leviathan rules, apparently. Thank God they figured this out now, and it wasn't during a tournament. Because that would have been rough if this was a tournament, you set it up for Leviathan, and then all of a sudden it's not Leviathan. But, again, good that they caught it now. One of the reasons I don't normally think about when it comes to needing the occasional community event is just essentially playtesting. So this kind of works out. Okay, let's make the trade here. I'll gladly take Totofi over the Flish. A little bit of trash talk in the chat. Okay, we got ourselves our links. We nearly have ourselves the fully loaded fully loaded up on interest. Right around the corner from snagging that. Can I trade this? It's not going to give me the one that I was looking for, unfortunately. We'll get links involved. And then start getting ready for the next stage. How many TNTs are currently on the board here? None, actually. Nobody seems to be picking it up at all. This does mean it does open the door for Invoker play. Good shot there from the Emberling Rod, doing some pretty serious damage. But we need some more damage coming out here from our links. Get the Ranger taken down. There goes the one. There is no sustain currently outside of the Bloodthirst drone augment. So got a little bit, but not a lot. And you can see the links does get quite low. And with that win there, we will get ourselves up to max interest, so the bleeding can kind of finally stop. One more links, one more level. Can get two more. Who to add on now in this instance? Going up against... I was going to say it's Carrion, but no, this one's Fox Spirit. Just get some additional front line for the time being. I'm checking stats, but stats don't matter right now. Yeah, just do that for now. And move the links over. Let's get that Doka out of here. Yeah, so we'll get focused down a little bit by the other links and by the Ranger. The Untargetable will get it off my case, though, for at least a moment to hopefully take that Ranger off the board. There it goes. So we're going to trade the 2 for 1, and we did distract the links for quite a while. And now, please clump up and let my Ranger do some work. TNT gets the one shot off. Okay, takes care of the one links, but that's not the links that has the augment. So we are going to lose this one. It's just a matter of how badly. One more shot. We'll get, I think, maybe get these two. There's no taunt available. The shield, though, coming out there from that Atlas will stop me from getting two. Okay, no, actually, there we go. We do get the Atlas down, so we just get hit by the one. There is our Archos, big healer on board. Let's get some levels in once again. And this one, of course, this is up against Sota. Do I really have a good option? Not necessarily, so I think I might just throw the other links in here just because. I just kind of sent my nimble links into the gulag, though, not really paying attention to it. And the fact that they do have the solid start, so they get invulnerability right off the rip, that isn't going to do me very many favors. But we do take care of the greater monk here, but we'll eventually get trimmed down. Their winks in the northern side of the arena, hiding behind the drone, is doing a very good job of deflecting my Tianti shots. Or my Totofi shots, rather. It's not even leveled up yet. And of course, we're still rather well off now. Ripple Flail is available. No, I think I'll stick to... I think it's probably still safe to stick to Scion here. Rich is out, we need to bail, let's exit. Are we out of here? Might very well be out of here, it looks like. Just kind of waiting to see, confirm and see if anybody's moving. Which would be a shame, I just found Alfie. Oh, you see, this is what's up. Kieran's going up against me now. So, yeah, I understand. This is time to quit, right? No, I kid, obviously, but... okay, Kieran is out. I'm just making sure everybody else is leaving here as well. We'll look into the Discord. Yeah, there we go. I made the CEO rage quit. No, I'm just kidding, I'm kidding. People are still here, so I'm not sure what's going on right now, unfortunately. Just gonna play it out as I normally would until I start seeing people leaving or something said in the Discord, because as of right now, nothing is truly been confirmed, I don't think. Oh, looks like they are. Okay, yeah, we're leaving this one. Hey, there we go, still in the points. Yeah, so the only way, I guess, is to go by ranking. Reboot this so I don't crash, because my PC sometimes does that. Okay, so yeah, we're basically going to try and all-time ranked at the same time, it looks like, instead. But again, glad that this is figured out when it's not under the actual pressure of a tournament. Had this happened during a tournament, then oh dear god. That would have been definitely problematic. You're waiting on me here. My apologies. Almost there. Big Man, hello. Happy New Year's Eve, and hope 2026 has some fortune go in your favor. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing pretty good. Had my year in review, and you'd think for somebody who's been doing this for so long that stage fright and anxiety would not be a thing, but it absolutely was. I had a really hard time actually getting through that, I'm not gonna lie. But a good time overall. We're actually trying to see if we can hop into the lobby with Kieran. We're gonna try and time ranked at the same time here. Gonna hop into Arena 2. Good luck, Fox. Sounds like it's go time. Okay. Yep, we're in the right queue then. All right. We're cruising. Zephyr, hello, welcome. Happy New Year to you. Hope 2026 brings you some fortune and good luck. But all is well over here. Hey, well, I definitely appreciate you hopping in and joining the stream while working. And hopefully sometime in the near future I'll catch you in a game or two. Hey, it looks like I didn't actually catch Kieran, so that is rather unfortunate, it looks like. Well, I should probably change my title here, because it's technically misleading if I keep it as is. Actually, hang on. Being told to restart, apparently, so thankfully, just hopped out of that. Have I checked out any of the shorts you've put up? If it's in regards to the ones where it's just showing off the alluvials, yep, I've seen them. Absolutely. Absolutely. I've been kind of pumping those out like a machine as of late. Very nice. Rich and Kieran bantering at each other in the Discord at the moment, but we're just, again, trying to get things all situated. Trying to do 2 a day to help promote, and working on a 0-1. That sounds good. Yeah, so apologies for the wait and apologies for the choppiness, sort of, in today's stream. Literally choking over myself during my year in review just from anxiety, and then I'm happy to do this little show match here with everybody. But trying to get people to actually get in here is a little tough. The Discord's trying to figure this out in a moment. I think we're going to try this again in just a moment. Thankfully, I didn't actually get caught in the first lobby that wasn't the proper lobby. So I didn't have to surrender or anything. One thing that I did find also pretty interesting, actually, when I was on the Discord, I think it was last night, they were in the Illuvium Arena chat, and Gieran did make the comment that come January, there would be a tournament in January, but it's not related to the Illuvium Pro League at all. So it was just a one-off, or like an individual event. And I'm honestly pretty happy to hear that. We don't necessarily need the Pro League right away, we just need some sort of event. And it seems like they're pretty much on board with that. Okay, I hear press go. And we've got everybody but the CEO, so it is what it is. Yeah, I'm playing this out. I'm gonna quickly refix my title because here and review arena ranked. If anyone's specifically here for the show match with the CEO, unfortunately it just does not seem like we can line things up properly. Sota actually just completely dipped out, so I don't know. I'm torn, man. There's no easy way to do this right now, unfortunately. Yeah, we'll just leave it as is. If we happen to run into the squad, we happen to run into the squad. But it just seems to be too difficult to actually line people up right now. So I don't have really anything in regards to a front line right now. Don't necessarily feel like using my legendary augment yet. I really want to see what I get in terms of a weapon first before I do that. We seem to be cleaning on through rather nicely here. Individual I was up against doesn't have the tier 0s leveled up, which honestly, for the most part, neither do I. The only things that would be leveled would be the evolutions, because they come that way. Okay, few choices here. Few choices for Scion as well. Looks like we're going for the Earth Scepter. So in terms of what I currently have, I'm making that work with what I have right now. It's not necessarily clear-cut. I'm going to put in my Grilla. It's probably my best overall unit right now on the board. I mean, I don't know. That one's kind of, the ride's pretty close to it as well. Got Rich in there, and then Sota is strong, and them leaving is definitely going to be, yeah. Sota, 100% if I had to go up against them, it would be a tough time, that's for sure. But I don't think I've ever actually gotten the opportunity to play against Rich, so this is kind of cool. Or if I have, it doesn't happen very often. Okay. Solid start, we're absolutely going to take that. There is our little Totofi. We'll 100% bring them into the fray. Gonna pop Or no, I can keep that there. Let's use our legendary now. Is there anything Omega power-wise that we can use? No, so this means I have to go for Furiox then, it looks like. And do the max health option. Okay. Geyser was your damage dealer yesterday. Yeah, that was pretty funny. A while ago, it was just a casual game, so it was up against a bunch of bots. But I Aegis buffed the Geyser to see what would happen, and that was so funny. As we see, Coyote Hype's Ryan Lu absolutely beating the hell out of me, will end up winning. Had I had my power cubes, I would have 100% won that fight. So my slow play is definitely hurting me a little. Okay, right, Lu, you can move. So this is Muddy Harbinger for the time being. That's not what the end goal is, but we'll use it for the time being. Let's not make the same mistake twice. Power Cube's going to be online. No Cacho, my opponent, and then there's the Lynx. Optimally, we swap out the Doka for Lynx in the upcoming fights. And based off of my current positioning as well, since I have solid start and I've moved my units back, that is a lot of wasted invulnerability time, so I need to keep that in mind for my next move. The Cacho going to take me down without question, I think. See if we can maybe take out the Ranger or take out the Atipo with one more shot, but the Fleece should clean us up. Oh, even before my shots land. Damn, alright. Okay, so since again I have the invulnerability, let's adjust our lineup ever so slightly. Something like this for the time being. I'm not concerned about that, not concerned about that. We're getting very, very close to being maxed out on interest. Scoop these up. Hopefully some magic-based ones. Getting the one is nice. Okay, level. Doka, come back. And which one is my higher leveled one? It's this one, right? Okay. So you can have power cubes. You can have this. 1, 2. Did not necessarily give me any of the options that I was looking for, per se. Going up against Rich this time. Give you the health. Heal. Back around, do something like this. Kind of cover all fronts. And in theory, this is a relatively safe start. That's my Lynx get in there rather safely onto the Heady. As soon as that Omega comes out, should be hopefully our first kill. Rich does, of course, have their own collection, but it does not seem like they are quite leveled, so it looks like we're going to be able to take advantage for now. Just going to end up doing casual, then alright, good luck, have fun. I thank you for the invite, though. Do get the energy-based one. There we go. Let's snag that. Let's go over there. We're pretty well situated. I can get two experience points there. And if they're going to end up playing a casual game, like, maybe I'll just hop in the cast later, but I want to finish this game out. I feel bad. Most of my stream so far today has been a waiting screen, so I need to get something going. No shots towards anybody. Just need to get moving. Or I need to get moving, personally. Lynx needs to find a kill quickly, otherwise it will end up falling. Nope, it is going to end up going down, so I'm going to rely on the Ranger and the Tofi to really get the job done here. Good shot there from the Ranger. Takes down 2. Just a matter of dealing with the Flish. Tofi gets the shot off. There we go. The little snail that could coming in clutch here. There's one Tofi. There's the level. And now I can look to maybe find some evolutions. We do find a Lynx, which ends up being an empath variant. Is there a world where I can kind of double stack my healers potentially? Do something like that. And there's TNT. There we go. Maybe give you the damage potentially. No, that was a mistake. I probably should have left it on the Lynx. Lynx at least still has the power cubes. It's probably the best user of it because TNT doesn't really shoot that fast, all things considered. Bon Daddy Ratty here, I think, having the same mindset as me. Just wants to actually get a game in. And there's nothing like using your own alluvials. This is close. My Lynx is holding the line pretty nicely. And now they're on to my Archos. Archos, big roots come on in, get some damage. How about the TNT shot? There it goes. One more shot from the TNT I feel like should be able to get the job done. Bon Daddy Ratty was the lobby leader. We successfully take him out. Damage increase is probably what I'm going to end up going for. At the same time, though, the attack speed and resistance reduction. What's our leaders doing? Potentially fighters. Let's do the attack speed reduction one. See how that goes. A Tofi. Another one. Perfect. If there's a world where we can manage to get our... Sorry, excuse me a second. If there's a world where we could manage to get a fully evolved Lynx and then at the same time a fully evolved Sepphoris, that would be pretty incredible. We would have a very, very beefy front line while also having Invoker already. My Invoker team isn't great, but I at least have an Alluvial for everything, right? So they'll actually have levels. They will actually hit relatively hard. And even if I'm stuck sitting here with Totofi, it doesn't necessarily make me upset at all because Totofi is easily the best Alluvial I have currently in my collection. 95 TPI on this guy. Just missing a little bit of attack damage, and this was just caught raw out in the overworld. It wasn't fused, so that was an absolute blessing. Pure damage, potentially. Earth Imprints, potentially. No, thank you. Damage amp, maybe. Pure damage. Let's see what it gets me. No, just gonna give me water. Let's just go for the damage amp. Let's get our Caradulo online. And see if maybe we could finish off this Lynx. There it is. Hello, beautiful. That is going to be a Virtuous Terra Lynx here. It's not necessarily my greatest Lynx. It's not terrible, but definitely not top of the line. But this is a tough corner to crack now, to say the least. See if we can get some more magic-based augments. A composite. If I do this and get Harbinger potentially, yeah, that'd be the way to go. So now we've got 3 Harbinger. Do something like that, give it to the Lynx. The magic. Kind of torn between which style of Scion I want to play, but I see there is already people of Furioxis, so maybe we just look for the magic augments instead, or the Omega Power ones. Let's do something like that. So I'm still looking for Totofis. And maybe one more Bulwark as well. There's the Bulwark, and there is my dear Alfie. So there we go. The squad's coming together. Could potentially maybe even pick up Mammoth. I'm going to avoid Squeeze for now. Now, Nocacho, they are so far flawless here into this one. But can my Terra Lynx hold the line? They're slowly but surely starting to fall, but having to wait for every single TNT cast in order to get a kill is definitely making this a slow ride. But look at how good this damn thing just does not die. Healing me up right through the Inferno does not matter. The only thing damage-wise left is just that little Fury, and we will take that down. We're on top of the ladder now. Allies get a damage reduction. We can probably play around with that. And oh, hang on a minute. Here we go. Having a 4th bulwark doesn't do anything for me necessarily as of this moment. But what I can then do, put you back to the side, get you online, and go for what? Granite Invoker, there's Mud Invoker. Oh, I can do Granite. Granite actually has something. Move my stuff over to Sinalf specifically because Rich has some sort of corner thing going on. And then snag that to Tofi. We are right around the corner from sniping a Sepphoris. As long as Sinalf can stay alive, I feel very, very confident in this fight. A little Gorilla onto my Sinalf is being annoying, but it is not going to take it down. It stopped a couple of casts, but now those casts just essentially count as Invoker stacks, which should be helping my Sinalf quite nicely. There we go. And even the Ranger, too, going to be packing a very, very solid punch, while also debuffing their units. And we'll take Rich out here in this one. Alright, any chance we get Sepphoris? We do. There we go, and we also do manage to get some Omega power. I'm not going to get the engine that I was kind of looking for, but we can go for the raw damage. We'll absolutely do that to get this one started. Bond, Daddy Ratty. Up ahead here, that's a pretty scary looking Caradulo, but a lot of emphasis here really being put onto this Railu to potentially be, I guess, the carry of sorts for this squad. And this first Sinalf shot is just going to go right on into the Fern, nearly taking it down in one shot, but now that we have the 3 Invokers online, this should start stacking up relatively quickly, especially since they can't actually get through my links. Absolute perfect case scenario. I do need to kind of move the links over, maybe to the left a little bit more if possible, because the Sinalf is currently not in range of the heals. I could see that being a problem later on down the line. But not bad. We're looking quite good here in this one. We do scoop up Mammoth, and there is a Scarabok. So now levels are what I can truly focus on. I have the 1, I have the 2 bulwarks. Get up to level 9, I could get them in here. But at the same time, I kind of want to get Mammoth in here. See if I can move her just a slight little bit to make sure that there's not a hole that, say, a Ramphy could fit into. They're not going to make the move, so that's okay. And now we're within the healing range, so this feels pretty good. That corner just immediately got deleted. Arctace dives on, or the Ace rather, just dives on through, and no chance there for Oscar. They will end up falling down very convincingly. The squad is just unbreakable right now. Let's see. Bunch of levels. We can then get in potentially their Mammoth. Where do I want to put you, Mammoth? Definitely replace Groko for Kling. And then depending on what I need to do, instead of going for 5 Bulwark, I could also go for 5 Scion. Whether it be for just a kill shot or for potentially just getting that invulnerability that my units cast a little bit nicer. 50 Omega power, yes please, we'll take that. Let's go Earth. We're very close to getting 5 Earth. I would like to be able to do so. Maybe give that to our Mammoth. More magic damage. And we, again, don't get the engine, so this thing is just going to be an absolute machine in terms of pumping out damage. But it doesn't necessarily have the energy gain to truly make best use of it. And then since I'm not going for an auto attacker, maybe I can even go over here and make it so that my mammoth just becomes a little bit tankier as well, give you some attack damage. Something like that. And use my extra credits onto leveling, go towards level 9. I see a poor little squiz over there in the background that is going to be absolutely deleted. Here we go. Shots fired right through the center. Just completely chopped them all up. Beautifully done, squad. Beautifully done. And then there were 4. So we've got Rich still. We've got, in this one, we got Bondaddy Ratty. We got Nocacho still in this one. Not necessarily taking too much heat. Does starting energy maybe something I want to try? Normally I don't care, but if I'm front-loading all of my damage into a Sinolf, maybe this is an option that we can try. And we'll get to the level, and this might actually be a fantastic opportunity to try 5 Scion. I'll place my Flish in here in just a minute. I really don't care if it lives or not. I'm just going to fire it in there. This gives me that 5th Scion, and because they have the Fur Knight that does have the engine on it so that it's getting its Omega just that much faster, I do want to make sure that when that tornado comes through, it does not stun me for very, very long. Rampite is going to be able to do a good chunk of damage, but I've got 2 sets of healers. Archos is nearly going down, though, and it is going to be able to blow me up, unfortunately. The heals just did not come out quick enough here, it looks like, for the Lynx and for the Archos. Now they are kind of being focused down. If I'm lucky, my Lynx should be able to just utilize this beautifully and bail me out. Absolutely love this little bugger. This, alongside the Sepphoris, is going to turn what looked like a lost fight for me right back into my favor. Harbinger, virtuous Lynx. A little bit nasty if I do say so myself. Any extra credit still is just going to be going towards my next level. If I can get all the way up to level 10, and then I basically have my pick of the litter as to which Scion I want to go for. In terms of maybe a Dualith, in terms of maybe Octius and Mephisto. All are options that are on the table. A little bit of a split play here for Bondaddy Ratty. Going once again towards that Fur Knight. First heals coming out here from the Lynx. Caradulo sadly going to be out of range of it. See if we can get those stacks. Send that Caradulox all the way off to Narnia, all the way off to the other side. We need another big cast here from our Sinolf. It takes care of the Railu that was kind of one of the carries anyway. But we do need to turn and burn onto this Furiox that is just peppering us for free over in the corner. Caradulox is actually stuck, it looks like. That is extremely strange, but in a sense, it's actually not a bad thing because it's just holding my Ranger and my Sinolf beams to just go in that direction. But eventually the Sepphoris is going to get stacked up enough to actually get the damage done. An unusual play there, but it will end up working. More towards leveling. Level 10 should be doable, I believe, in the next round. And potentially even, let's get rid of the one. Okay, yeah, you're way better. Let's get you in there. Swap that up. Had the potential for 5 Earth for a little bit of extra defenses. We'll make that switch. Optimally, we find one more Scarabok, get that thing leveled up to Goliant. And while my Goliant is not very good, it can at least, just by the raw stats alone, I think hold the line. Okay, there's the shot from before, but I think the Lynx is going to be able to get the heal out in time this time. There we go. It's going to be able to keep the gang alive for at least a little bit longer. Maybe one more shot for Sinolf. There we go. It's going to survive, unlike the last time. Still sitting in the heels. Sinolf is still alive. Sephoris is still very healthy as well. We will sustain. There is the Scarabok as well that I was looking for. So it is now going to be Goliath. Pick up that Mammoth. Let's get to level 10. I'm a little bit past 70 as of this moment, but it will be fixed very shortly once we get this PvE round underway. I move my guys something like this. Actually, no, you're an Invoker. I want to keep you protected for now. Flish, I'm not necessarily worried about. Throw one more Bulwark onto the board there, and we'll be in great shape. So now all of this extra credits just goes to me finding my Scions. That's basically it. And maybe even finding my myself a Singe as well, looks like. Augment is a support augment. Let's make it so that everybody around... Oh no, I kind of need to keep that sort of the way it is, eh? No, you're gonna die too quickly. Let's do something like that instead. You can take this. Who do I want to give some health to? Potentially Mammoth, but we'll get there eventually. Did I get that in time to possibly evolve? Oh, my Twine's on the bench. Maybe I'll swap out Caradulo here in a minute for my Twine. This would be an elimination onto Bondaddy Ratty if we can finish them off. We, of course, got our 2 healers stacked on top of that back line. They have the Scoriox, though it is now fully evolved, but as these Invoker procs are coming on through, my shots are getting that much stronger, but they are going into the tanks, which is making this a little bit more difficult. Now they're shot into the Scoriox. We are going to be able to take it down. Big damage gone. But they are on top of my squishies. The Lynx is gone, the Archos is gone, the Blotto, the Caradulox, the Twine are right on top of me, but I am taking down the damage. But they are on top of me, so that will get the job done this time. But that is okay. We have lots to work with. It is just now me versus Nocacho. Bondaddy Ratty still alive, of course. Let's see here. So where is this guy getting in? It's the ramp fight that puts me in a spot where this is even close to in the first place. If I can make it so I trap my own units, kind of like this. Especially now that things are ramp fire. Potentially the ramp fire doesn't go right next to Archos. I don't know. That might have actually been worse. We'll see here in a second. And here comes the ramp fire. It is going to do some good damage, but right in time is going to be the Lynx heal. Is going to eventually take down 2 of my spellcasters. I do still have Sinolf. I still do have Lynx, of course. But again, I'm relying on these 2 to carry. It's a lot of damage, though. That's now a fully evolved ramp fight. Or ramp fire, rather. So the likelihood of this happening is not going to be good. So there goes. Let's scoop up that Goliath. See if we can manage to get another Invoker here. Clean up my bench a little bit. I got a lot of crap on it. Alfie again, a little bit aggressive in terms of the rolling on my part, so I'm going to try and stay at 20 for the time being. The nice thing is that nobody is trying to go for the same units as me. But this is still difficult. So again, in terms of stats, my Illuvials are not up to par. Like, I'm going up against Bondaddy Ratty here with 60s. And my Sinolf, for example, is 34. So I'm like half the firepower. But I'm just trying to rely on synergies and positioning to truly get this job done. Good stun coming out there from Goliath right as it goes down. Could maybe be the difference maker here, but again, the tanks are here. Can we get their damage dealers down? Not quite enough just yet. Hang in there, Lynx. Can we get the kill on the Blotto for heal? Yes, we do. Get rid of the Ranger. Get rid of the Blazonite. We get the damage gone. And we might have just saved ourselves here. Get the Archelion out of here. It's the only thing I could truly heal. And there goes Bon Daddy Ratty. Kill shot now onto Nocacho. There is Dual F online. Dash. Hey. No, I don't think we're getting that. Titanor, welcome. In fact, can I just stack you with all the things? Steel resistances too? Why not? Try something like this. Can this potentially be the kill shot here onto Nocacho? Now, while I do have a Dual F, I do not have a Rake, so Steam is not online. It's not going to be possible with the weapon that I do have. But we do have Invoker, and because my guy is my Dual F is evolved now, it does have a little bit more health. So even though this Rampfire is just jumping up and down like a damn pogo stick, it doesn't have the damage to do it. And I'm glad I stuck into this one, as we are going to get the win. 1800. Let's go. I think that was 2 games, so I'm going to quickly reboot once again. I'm going to take a peek and see what's going on in regards to the match in the Discord. If there's something going on, then maybe I'll look to try and cast it instead of playing another round. But we'll see. It looks like they're essentially just hopping in ranks. So yeah, if we hit them, we hit them. I'm not going to stress about it. But again, I hope everybody's having a fantastic New Year's Eve, or also even a happy New Year, of course, depending which time zone you are in. 2025 was an absolutely eye-opening year, not necessarily for all of the positive reasons here for myself, but one thing that was a consistent positive here for me in my life has been Illuvium and the community. So, to all y'all, thank you so much for everything this year. And here's to many more going into 2026. So got plenty of excitement coming around the corner here with Illuvium, I'm sure. And as long as I'm having fun, I'm not going anywhere. Cheers, y'all. Where does this put me right now in terms of... I mean, I shouldn't be looking, because that's usually when I jinx myself whenever I look at my leaderboard spot. I know I was top 20 at one point, but yesterday what would be my, I guess, my game time, I used it more so for work purposes, because I really want to crack down on what it is I'm actually missing with my collections. And I really put the work into into my spreadsheet. I'll show you what I mean here in a second, because this definitely took a little while to do. So you saw my spreadsheet probably from before, where I had my teams on it. I've now improvised that spreadsheet to now have every single alluvial in the game, which one is my best alluvial, and which ones that I need replacing. So all the tiers I have, I jotted all of this down, because at least based off of the website, I didn't see a spot where you can specifically look and see what the best of each alluvial was, just off the rip. So I basically just made that for myself. So now when I actually go into Overworld, I don't have to second guess myself and say, do I need a better one of these? Is this an upgrade? No, I can just reference my spreadsheet, and I'll know right away. We've found 2 Archies already. This makes me happy. Might be able to potentially speedrun getting Aegis if the weapons go into our favor. We got lots to pick from, so let's see. What kind of weapon will we get in the next round? That'll make a big difference once again. We've got Matango. What do you've got up in store here for us? You do have a couple of your own little Illuvials. They're leveling up. They're looking quite nice. Not too shabby. Healing isn't going to do me much justice as of right now, so I think I might actually just kind of turn everybody into a caster of sorts. Let's get the Scion online for a little bit of extra boost. Do something like that and scoop our Lynxes up. Optimally, I probably should have had the Lynxes on the board, but I think we could still get the job done. Yeah, just hold them in place so that Tatofi can go nuts. My Tatofi... I made sure to specifically level this guy. It may just be a little guy, but I at least got it to 27. And it does have maxed out Omega power as long as it can stay alive, and that is kind of the struggle here right now up against this Lynx. It's not going to be able to find a kill shot on any of these, so we will end up taking the L there in this one. Weapon-wise, let's see what we got. They really want me to go fighter, and my saving grace is here, so let's go for the Ember Bulwark. And that is our very fast 4 bulwark setup. The synergy, how about Earth potentially? Or maybe even getting a 5th bulwark right off the rip. With it being Earth, this kind of leads me into 2 directions. I can either go the Magma-esque kind of route or the Bloom route. Magma Aegis in particular is not going to be possible. So it would have to be Bloom now. My Lura is not in good shape though. It is, while it has okay, or actually I don't even think it has okay stats, but it doesn't have okay stats and it's not leveled. So I really need to get to the middle stage evolution quickly if I were to try the Bloom kind of style. But the big hit is going to be Phosphorus down the road. That is what I'm going to need to try and find. Mitigation, no thank you. Solid start, yes please. There's Lura. Yeah, because I'm probably better off just keeping all of my stuff onto Tatofi for now, even though I know it may not necessarily be the most optimal. But I've almost necessarily, or I almost got all of the damage augments that I'm going to want. It's just a matter of picking up tank after that. Because with this style, Lura kind of goes from the carry to eventually being the tank. I just move the augments around, depending on at what point in the game I'm in. Clean up the bench a little bit. Okay. No levels on this individual. So we can just kind of cruise for a little bit. Just keep likely winning some rounds here. And just kind of cruise through and build our economy up. Now, going for the fully evolved Stoic Lynx doesn't look like it's going to be a good idea. Leonardo here already has a Stoic Lynx, and I believe they just found a second one on their bench, so rolling for Lynxes will definitely not be the play this time. What I do need sooner rather than later is my third Archie. And then the game truly opens up a bit for me. Having these 5 bulwarks so quickly is just beautiful. In fact, what I can do is even just replace Caradulo now. Yeah, that can work. I don't even need it. So the Lynx and its AoE stun is just going to be able to take its place. We'll get Kling in there. Continue building up our nature army. Scoop those up. It's a lot of magic, unfortunately, though. I do need to get an emergency button, so where is it? I'm not going to get it, so I'm going to 100% throw that into the recycler. I've got a few things I need to throw into the recycler, it looks like here. Because this is too many Omega cells to get the play done that I want. I need a mixture of fusions and then attack damage styles. I have the attack damage one, but I think I need a fusion and then an emergency button. Then I have the perfect little carry setup. Headset leg does have their little fury, but it is just a level 1. It's just a little guy. So I think my setup here, even if the level down, should be able to clean it up quite nicely. And I always forget how much damage this Lynx can actually do, even though it's a tank. Found this upgrade on the last stream, I believe. But I did get it leveled up finally to level 30, so... Still has a long ways to go, yet it still hits so hard right off the rip. Now that we're maxed out... It didn't give me the augment that I wanted again, so that's a little unfortunate. Slowly crawl towards level 6. Who do I want next? Do I just want a Lynx be here for a little bit of extra DPS? It might be the way to go, to be honest. Or could potentially get Fury involved. Well, let's do that. Let's get the Scion buff online. It's a little bit of a pricey one. It's going to put me back under, so I'm actually going to sell this monk here off. This is Fury. If I recall correctly, yeah, take a look at this guy here. Basically, not a glass cannon, but it's got almost all of the attack stats that I could possibly want. So even though it's just a little Fury, I made sure to put some time into leveling them up a little bit. And we'll take that quite nicely. Do I take one more Lynx just to make things difficult? Potentially. And now let's get to level 6. There we are. I can probably get Lura in for now, because I still don't have the setup for Archie yet. Let's switch that. These rogues are going to actually mess my day up. And since these are actually all rogues, no, let's actually put Archie in here. And unfortunately, I was a little bit slow in regards to seeing that I still did not get the emergency button. I definitely want it for Phosphorus, so this is annoying because I'd rather also be getting a bunch of these Omega cells turned into attack damage cells. But we're still cruising, we're doing okay, so it's not going to punish me too badly for having these augments on the board. And now that we're at level 6 here, I can start actually looking for my Archie, but I should also take a look and see if there's any other options available, in which there is Ripple Flail. Is that an option that I can possibly take? It could be, but I think we're just going to go and stick with Ember anyway. Let's get this recycled once again. We're up against Matt here once again. Can we find... Oh, that's a good upgrade there. TNT is here. Teddy, we're going to need you. Gladly have you on board. Any chance I could find Archie? No, I'm going to get Hetty again, so... We're at least building our tank line. I could potentially replace Groko or replace the Lynx with a Krunk at some point here. Yeah, how quickly the tides turn here, though. Get a couple extra Illuvials on the board here and starting to kind of shred through Matt. Might have been the lobby leader, but not for long. We will eventually chop him down. That has quite the brutal Lynx, though. And it's only level 20. It held its own very, very well. Okay, max health. I think we're going to just do that one. Get Cling. Again, wrong augment here for the emergency button. Potentially find Archie. We're not going to find him like at all. We're actually going to find Cling first, oddly enough. I will cut it there because I want to still be within range of max interest. But it's definitely annoying. How many Archoses are even out there right now? There's 2. I mean, I get that they're kind of, like, somewhat looked after here, but... little frustrating. The composite chip here, I'm going to wait, because I do want to make sure I have Aegis online before using it. There's the emergency button. We finally do get it. The fusion... not going to end up finding the one that I'm looking for either. I'm looking for the one where the Omega triggers attack speed bonuses. But we can do this for the time being. Make TNT hit just a little bit harder. Maybe make the Archie a tank of sorts, so I can add on a little bit more Omega power. And... where art thou, Archie? There's Hetty. And yet another one. I did have a funny game, I think it was two days ago, where I actually got a Blotto before I got an Archos. It was pretty ridiculous. Like, I didn't get an Archos, I think, until around round 20, which is obviously way too late to truly be going after that, but it's what it is. I think we still ended up winning that game. Life Leech, we'll go for that. There's the augment I'm looking for, so that goes to you. And with Krunk being here, I am going to replace my Lynx. Have the all-nature front line. In fact, I could probably bring everybody back now. Kind of make a bunker out of this, because we don't seem to actually have Aegis going on at all. Yes, I'm going to sell the Lynxes. Yes, they could probably now go actually get the fully evolved Lynx, but I honestly just don't care. Yeah, we're on pace to find a Blotto before Archo, so I might actually just level up to 7. I spent a lot of time rolling for my Archie and just didn't find it, so if I keep doing it, even though I'm in a pretty dominant position and it looks like my Illuvials do have a little bit of control on the rest of this field, I don't want to be too far under-leveled. Maybe I do just kind of let a couple of these players get knocked out. And if I happen to find Archos, I happen to find Archos. Okay, let's get to level 7. Haven't even really found Lurez really either in this one. Could potentially double up Krunks just because I can. How's my other Krunk? It's level 42, it just has bad stats, so I mean, it's gonna have health. I could very well just do something like this. To make the absolute beefiest of squads. I do have the little foe here, but it doesn't make sense to truly use it. Unless I can Aegis buff it at this level. Clean that up quite nicely. Double crunk action. Finally, we find ourselves a little Lura. Okay, another TNT, another Heady. Okay, now we actually have the bloom portion. Maybe I can then swap this out for now. Perfect time to go dive bombing all the way at the back there where that, whatchamacallit, the Hyriox is. Because I have the solid start already, I'm not too concerned about losing the granite. And I'd rather just give my Lura a little bit more fun. Open it up to having a little bit more fun there. Look at how quickly it just cleaned that thing up. Beautifully done. Now, the composite chip is potentially something I could finally use now, because Bloom is here. I would be able to get that. I could potentially then maybe even get an Aegis chip. And now we do actually get Aegis, so we can kind of change our bunker to be a true Aegis setup. Or something along these lines. I will send off the Lura. Keep yous kind of like that. And of course, Crunk doesn't actually give Aegis yet, but I'm just keeping it in the right position so that it can once the time comes. And now with Aegis online, let's use this. We do get the Bloom imprint, so we'll take that. One more augment. That is the emergency button that I'm kind of looking for. On Omega Shield or Omega Power, let's just try and play greedy. We'll do that. Okay, so now that we finally have our Archie, I can, you know, let's make it like this. You do this, bang, bang. Trade you out for you. Do something like this. Some HP. Who do I want to give Bloom to? Potentially you. Do something like that for the time being. And there is our fourth Bloom. 4 Bloom online. So I will make a change as to who I Aegis boost after this. I will change it from the Lura to the Forest. Because at this point, with it being the Forest, now it actually kind of starts standing alone as its own super carry. And this will work quite nice. What does 4 Bloom even do? 500% of health regen as energy damage. Damn, I don't think I've ever actually truly seen that in action. Brutal. Thorns, Omega Power, no. No. No, just max health it or give me another... Huh, let's go for another one of these. Who do I make a tank? It would probably be the Malura, or the Lura rather. Let's do something like this. Give you the attack damage. You are now Aegis buffed. Launch the Lura into the team. This requires actually having resistances. So let's do that. Build this for tank. And I was still too slow to even truly utilize my extra bank, which we will then have Blotto for the next round. Now everything else can just go to levels. And just look at this squad get absolutely shredded. Yeah, the real battle is going to be at the very, very end, where it's myself up against Matt. Or Matango. Do get the Bruiser augment. just add more of these things, potentially. Give it to you instead. Level up again. One away. I won't be super greedy. Who's using Furiox right now? Just Anime Clutch? And feeling fine there. I keep it there. We'll launch our Lura directly at that Sinolf and the Furiox, which should hopefully be able to interfere with it. Perfect positioning, actually, to scoop up multiple individuals. That Rip Lance is going to be torn through like butter. And now that Forest is right into the back line, it is curtains from there. Nice, quick, and easy cleanup. Now, just me versus Matt. Okay, level 9 now. Where's Matt at? Level 8, but they also have a bunch of credits to their name as well, so we cannot get super, super greedy. But at least with their squad, nothing is going to jump at me. So what I'm going to do, let's rotate everybody here. Slight rotations. Bang. 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 Where's my ranger? Bang. Something like that. A double Groko on accident here as well. I have room for one more tank. This should let Forest go right from left to right. Let's see if it can do so safely in this first battle. Of course, its Omega comes up pretty quickly as is, so it really triggers the attack speed upon Omega. And yeah, look at this. This is just an absolute bloodbath here. Forest is probably having the day of its life. Already 10k, and it's such a quick fight. And how do we make that better? Leveling and getting full chances at getting a tier 5 Illuvium. If I recall correctly, I did see them picking up Octius as well. They do get a Fisto, so I'm not even going to bother trying to contest. They found it. They got it. That is going to be one of their, if not their main win condition here. Maybe I'll pick up Fern as a little bit of an extra backup. Get me to that 6 nature point. Lets me have the 2 empaths as well. This way I'm not just running 2 Grokos. Could potentially start building Ador as well. Let's see, if I did something like this, where I kind of tucked in Furiox around here. Something like that. Strike Augment. Let's make it clumsy so it's actually applying debuffs to everybody. And we then do another one, so you're also kind of being a little bit of a pseudo carry. Something along those lines. Lura, go after. Scoop up a couple of alluvials here. I didn't even see that there was a little foe for me on the side there. That was a little bit of a mistake. I can definitely switch that out for the next round. It does only fall now, though, so it actually did a pretty good job of holding the line. Lura is being an absolute nuisance in the back line. By the time this Aphisto is really getting the opportunity to start striking, my units are on top of it, and I think they might have actually left knowing that they are absolutely cooked. So this will be ending very, very quickly, it looks like. Get my last 2. And let's just play as we normally would. Yeah, unfortunately, augment-wise, it doesn't look like it necessarily went into their favor. They did get the shock augment, which was kind of nice, so they do have some pretty consistent damage coming down. Yeah, this will be done quickly. Yeah, I guess let this be an example of what blue mages can look like when basically uncontested. The hardest thing to get in this game in particular was, oddly enough, the Archos. And of course, with it being within kill shot, it'd be time to dump everything that we have into getting Phosphorus to finish off the job. Birdo ready to run rampant. So as we watch to see this kill shot in action, is there one more grass unit that I could find just for the lulz? That's just this, eh? But let's watch. Let's see, Phosphorus, how much damage you got? Phosphorus last time did about 10k. Let's see, with Phosphorus now into the mix, let's see how quickly that changes. Immediately deleting that mammoth. And yeah, we're absolutely going to be crushing those numbers right out of the park. It's not even getting the perfect angle on some of these Omegas. And already up to 15k. So easy peasy. Just absolutely no contest there, to be completely honest with you. So with that, I think it's about time for the Illuvium 0 cooldown. Let's quickly hop on over. Definitely apologize. This is definitely not the kind of stream I wanted to end off the year with. I could just be beating myself up, but I definitely feel a little bad. Wish I would have known about the show match idea earlier, but it didn't seem like it necessarily worked anyway, so a little unfortunate there. But my year in review wasn't necessarily much of a year in review. Definitely kind of kicking myself there. Just fighting anxiety and choking the entire time. Yeah. Here goes to 2025. Easily the most eye-opening year of my life. But I'm hoping for much more positivity now that I have a little bit of a clearer picture on things going into this next year. Okay. Maybe Illuvium 0 will have something a little special here for us to close out the day. Oop, I completely killed off my camera instead of doing it this way. Snowing a little bit on the chair. That's a little better. Yeah, so this plot, nothing too fancy going down, just trying to keep my extractors going and level up some of these passive generators. I'll keep that going. Which one takes the carbon? I believe it's this one, right? This one takes more carbon? Yeah, we'll do that one. Get these going. Scoop up the resources real fast. And now the plots that have the scanners. Slowly but surely trying to increase our tier 5 collection of biodata. Will this be the day that we find ourselves a new one? Let's take a look. Off the rip. No, no, and no. Not on this first plot anyway. Not going to happen today. Off to Abyssal Basin instead. Let's see. Got 2 going in this plot. Not on the first, not on the second. No dice this time. Scoop these. That's a much faster way of doing it. My Blotto skin is going to be ready, so maybe that's something I can start off the new year with. With maybe a new Blotto skin for my drone and for my suit. So that'll be pretty fun. I like the Blotto skins. Let's quickly reboot these. Are there any other ones that weren't rebooted? I think we're good. I'm going to make sure that that doesn't reset, or it resets for next time. Oh, looks like it's already set. That works. A little bit of passive fuel generation. We'll gladly accept that. Bang, bang. How about our scanners this time for our final one? Not a single thing from any of them today. Unfortunate. Quickly get these situated. Might get this done rather quickly, so I might be able to just chill for a few moments after the Illuvium 0 cooldown. Or let's reset that one and then claim this one. I can set this off now. And then scoop up my hydrogen one. There we are. Almost enough. Or I remember the problem I was having with this one. I'm just so starved on silicon on this plot that it's making my upgrades for my anti-Solon inverters here take a long time to process. It's a little bit better, but again, I just need to be actually online and paying attention to them just a little bit more often. All of my fuel. Main goal for now is just to essentially just save up all my fuel at this point here. As to what this is going to end up being used for, not quite sure yet. But it'll be available for whenever there's an update. Now I've got enough storage. I can finally start saving up for the final Nexus upgrade for this plot in particular. Just a matter of getting the resources. Those going. Level 5, it's the water or the hydrogen that I'm behind on, eh? Let's get that real quick. But of course I need that to keep the fuel coming. But with that, that's all the plots. Oh, and with that, that's everything for me for 2025. Of course, I hope everybody's having a fantastic New Year's Eve. I do hope that, again, that everything 2026 can go in your favor. Have a little bit of extra positivity. I know, especially near the end here of 2026, no matter which part of life or what kind of interest, yeah, there are a lot of things that kind of put a damper onto things. But definitely hope you keep on pushing through it. 2026, try our best to get a clean slate and start from a clean slate, start from top, and hopefully just go to the moon from there. I do apologize, of course, for the scuffed nature of my stream today. This one was easily, at least personally, I'm probably overthinking this. But this was probably one of the tougher streams I've had in terms of energy and performance, and I feel bad. Just personally having a bit of a hard time. But one thing that I'm not having a hard time with is still enjoying Illuvium and enjoying the community. So again, I guess to kind of wrap up my year in review, to try this again without hopefully choking 50 times. But again, February is when a lot of things changed for me. The main job that I had, they made it obvious that I wore out my welcome. So I got out of there. And it did destroy a lot of my confidence. It took all the way until July 4th to the point where I came back online, started streaming again. August is when I started streaming Illuvium, even though I've been around for a long, long time. Since that first land sale, of course, for Illuvium 0. And then, thankfully, with the No Limits tournament, I was just casting it, and then I was noticed, because the Illuvium stream couldn't go up, so people needed a place to watch, and my stream ended up being the place that you can go to. And I've definitely had some awesome opportunities. The Illuvium Pro League was an absolute blessing. I enjoyed the hell out of that. And just constantly being able to make content here for Illuvium, I'm still absolutely enjoying. I'm not sponsored or anything. I'm not even affiliated. Like, I don't have a code, for example. You can't put code silent or something in the shop and I get a kickback if you spend fuel or something like that. No, that's not a thing. All in all, I'm still just a little guy. And am I in maybe a little bit over my head? Taking on a lot? Probably. But I did have a goal at the start of, or near the end of September going into October. I said that by the end of this year, I wanted to have at least 100 subscribers. And well, we're pretty close. And I'm still very, very happy with this. And to everybody who has subscribed to the YouTube channel and has showed me support over this entire year, absolutely, like, bless your heart. I thank you so, so much. And I hope that I can continue to entertain, bring the energy more often than not, and make our community a fun place for not just a crypto person, but for a gamer, for anybody to just have a fantastic time. That's the goal. Some days I do a little bit better than others, but I'm going to be trying my best the entire way. So again, big thank you to all of you. I do hope you have, again, if you're going out or partying here for New Year's Eve, please do stay safe. Make sure you text someone that you love them. And I'll see you in 2026.